We start with a sensation. Russia and the United States have secretly prepared a 28-items plan to end the Ukrainian conflict. This plan will be ready by the end of this week, and Kiev and Europe will simply be confronted with the fact. Politico writes about this, citing a source in the American administration. The White House is confident that Zelensky, against the background of the corruption scandal and failures at the front, will accept any conditions, and Washington, as a direct quote, does not really care about the opinion of the Europeans. Another sensation in this regard. Zelensky now officially appears in the indictment of the NABU Anti-Corruption Bureau in the case of his associate Mindich. This document appeared on the website of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau. The document indicates that Mindich, a bribe taker who fled to Israel, turned out illegal schemes, using friendship with Zelensky. The rebellion in Zelensky's party has also gone public. People's deputy from the Servants of the People Party Venislavsky called on Ermak to resign. Another servant of the people, Pacharev, published a statement in which he supported the investigation into corruption in Zelensky's entourage and other demands of Zelensky's opposition to create a new coalition in the Verkhovna Rada and form a new government. According to him, these documents were also signed by other party members. Against this background, the heads of the first ministers of grafters flew in Kiev. The Verkhovna Rada dismissed Justice Minister Galashchenko and Energy Minister Grinchuk. Now the people's deputies want to question Umarov, the secretary of the security service, who, according to Mindich's audio recordings, profited by purchasing defective bulletproof vests for the Ukrainian army. Umarov is in Turkey with Zelensky right now, and they promise to return tomorrow. The New York Times is trying to distract attention from the corruption scandal. This newspaper publishes a commissioned article with the headline, Russia strikes Ukraine while Zelensky is trying to resume peace talks. Of course, there is not a word in the material that the attack by the Russian armed forces is a response to terrorist attacks by the Ukrainian army. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the Russian army has launched a massive strike with high-precision long-range weapons and attack drones against Ukrainian military-industrial complex and energy facilities, as well as warehouses of long-range drones that were used for terrorist attacks on Russian regions. Hundreds of geranium drones, Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, and Caliber cruise missiles were involved in the raid. The H-22 and H-101 aircraft missiles were launched by our strategic bombers. Explosions thundered in Kharkiv, Odessa, Kiev, Vinnytsia, Chernihiv, Lviv, Ternopil, and Ivano-Frankivsk regions. In western Ukraine, the Burshtinskaya thermal power plant, gas infrastructure, as well as military airfields and an armored plant in the Lviv region were affected. All this is our response to Ukraine's attempts to attack the civilian infrastructure of Russian regions. At night, the Kiev regime fired 65 drones at them. And 11 more in the morning. And the day before, Voronezh, the deepest Russian rear, was attacked by Ukraine with the help of 4 American ATACMS missiles. All of them were shot down by Russian S-400 and Panzer air defense systems. Fragments of these Ukrainian missiles damaged the roof of an orphanage, a regional gerontology center and another private house. The war criminals were immediately met with retribution. Our intelligence quickly identified the location from where Voronezh was shelled. 2 launchers of multiple rocket launchers were found there, which, along with a set of missiles, and, importantly, with personnel, were destroyed by our Iskander missile. Watch our report. A Russian Iskander missile strike destroys 2 launchers of a US-made multiple launch rocket system. A crew of 10 militants and an escort vehicle were eliminated. Intelligence has recorded the launch site of the American ATACMS ballistic missiles, in the Kharkiv region near the village of Volskaya Balaklia, just 50 kilometers southeast of Chugov. It is 270 kilometers from the launch point to Voronezh. The maximum range of American ATACMS missiles is 300 kilometers. That is, the Ukrainians were hitting a peaceful city with a population of 1 million people from deep behind the lines, and they expected to escape retribution. Russian air defense intercepted all 4 American missiles. Their debris damaged the roof of the Voronezh Regional Gerontological Center, an orphanage and a private house. We managed to do without casualties. Large fragments of the downed ballistic missile were found in the forest. Here are photos of one of the intercepted ATACMS. The English version of the ballistic missile is indicated. It has a warhead from a Harpoon anti-ship missile, with an explosive weighing almost 100 kilograms. The warhead is high explosive. The Ukrainians intended to hit a well-protected facility. Such a projectile creates a devastating shockwave when hit. Fragments, in case of hitting a target, do not leave people with a chance to survive. Only American specialists can enter satellite coordinates into the flight, mission and service ATACMS missiles. The role of the Ukrainian military in the use of such weapons is minimal. Putin stated this back in June 2024. The Ukrainian military cannot do everything on their own and strike with this missile. They are simply technologically unable to do this. To do this, they need to have satellite intelligence. Then, based on this satellite intelligence, and this is American satellite intelligence, to form a flight mission. And then enter this flight mission into the rocket system. What can Ukrainian military personnel participate in? Not the ones who sit and push buttons, but at a higher level. They can participate in the selection of targets, they can tell which target is a priority and necessary for them. But they do not decide whether to strike at this target or not. Because, I repeat, the flight mission is formed and practically implemented only by those who supply these weapons. If it's ATACMS, then the Pentagon is doing it. If it's a Storm Shadow, then the British are doing it. Kyiv received provocative and short-sighted permission to strike with long-range American missiles during the Joe Biden administration, 2 months before Trump took office, who, on the contrary, announced at the time about limiting aid to Ukraine. The fact is that such attacks were probably planned using their intelligence, because the Ukrainian side does not have the necessary forces and intelligence assets to ensure the functioning of the ATACMS missile system. Next, the next stage is the introduction of flight tasks into the rockets. I don't think this was entrusted to Ukrainian specialists, as it is fraught with the loss of both military secrets and sensitive technologies. The cost of the destroyed installation is over $10 million. One rocket costs more than $1 million. This is a fire control system, a launch, a charging module, and 2 units, each with 6 missiles. First, a satellite map of the area is made. This is a 3D map, it is completely digital. The launch site of the ATACMS missile is selected, and the targets to be fired at are selected. And then a flight mission is formed, and this program is embedded directly into the missile warhead. Then, accordingly, the launcher based on the HIMARS car leaves for the